It feels great to be a Technobot! My name's Strafe!
Far out! Fantastic!
Welcome back to the Tiger Gear Hanger. This is Mike coming at you with the BingoToys BT08-01 Hertz. Now, this is their take on a Strafe figure, and just right out of the box, it looks really magnificent. It looks like a pretty good figure overall. Feels relatively solid, little on the lightweight side because it's going to be a combiner, but his name is Hertz. I did not rent him. I bought him from Shozy Store. I'll link down below where you can get yours at Shozy Store also. But let's get to taking a look at this guy, the good, the bad, and well, there's nothing really ugly about him. So we'll see all that coming up. All right, here is the box, the packaging. Behind him is his like accessory pack packed in there, and of course the instructions. And so that's how that is, and it's nice artwork. Shows the actual product, which I actually like that. I like it showing the actual product. You know what you're getting in the box. Yeah, I wouldn't mind a clear, like you could actually see the actual figure, but it's third party. There's zero chance this is going to be on a shelf anywhere around here, but yeah, decent packaging. Here he is right out of the box, and let's just spin around and see if he gets dizzy, because I think he might, but you don't have to keep these things on top. It is something you could do. Probably not something people would put in the robot mode, but you know, for me, I had some of these. I had this one as a kid, and I know I kept those on the top. I didn't have the whole set though as a kid. Was never able to build Computron as a kid. It was kind of one of the cool things about this when we were collecting these in the 80s. These Limbots were only like $2, $3, maybe $4 max. So they were pretty cheap. Really easy, like comparable to like a G.I. Joe figure, and you can get them relatively cheap. So a lot of people had these. Let's put that back where it goes. A lot of people had the limbs, but not the whole set, kind of like I did with this guy, but with the full 9 yards with Superion. So we can take these off real quick. Like one side doesn't, well, they both stick on pretty well once they've been on for a bit. Oh. Now, taking a look at him, I was surprised. I didn't realize how good of a job they would do with the paint. So you look how it glistens. I don't know, the camera's not really getting the glistening. The glistening effect's not showing up on camera as much, but maybe if I got a little closer, you'd see all of the glistening that is going on with all of this paint, and that looks pretty good. Now, I will point this out, and I've said this a few times. This figure is pretty stylized. Like, it's not an exact match to the vintage toy or the cartoon, but it's an homage in a way. Like, you know who it is by looking at him. And for whatever reason, like, I didn't really want that so much with Superion. It was my favorite. I wanted them to look just like the cartoon, but with these, I always kind of thought that the Technobots were a little bit just space and out there and far out there anyway. So this is a great set to have a stylized representation of. Now, it does come with accessories. He has these two swords. There's two different types of orange and some white paint, and something going on right there, and it can clip to his waist here. So you can have them with one clipped on each side, and that's kind of how I like it. But you can also clip the other one into that hole and have a second one clipped there. You can also clip it to his rear, if that's something. I don't want to mess up this beautiful paint. Clip it to his rear. I don't see really an advantage to that. See an advantage to this. And then we have his guns. Now, his guns are transforming. You can just pop that up. You can pop this down. You can get, like we had the configuration already, but you can just have the handle, and it's got a small little slit, which corresponds to his hand, and it works relatively well. I know a lot of these, for whatever reason, some of these hands don't work. Like, they should really have by now, X-Transbots and Fans Toys should have this down pat, and that is it holds in very well. Sometimes even on a Fans Toys figure, it doesn't hold in as well as we would like. You'd think there's a standard. It's, like standard parts over time. Like this, every hand's gonna have this, and it's always gonna work. Also, it comes with the second one. There's nubs here, and if you want, for whatever reason, you could clip it like it's a holster, and he's just holstering it. And that's another thing you can do with his weapons. And of course, that could be a tail. You could use that as a tail if you want to. And we also have his hand. So, like, I heard about this, and I was like, I don't know. I'm not sure, but you got the hand, which works fine. But usually you just wait till you get to that mode. Oh, look at this. See, you have the exact same hand. It's going to be the exact same hand on both, which is fine. It's perfectly fine. But it's the exact same hand because you can see that you could just pop this piece out, put the thumb over there, pop that piece over here. But we split this, and for whatever reason, this turns into a gun up here. Hold up a second. You gotta get this the full effect. If you're making a handgun, you gotta have the thumb in the air, right? Yeah, you know what I mean. Now for articulation, head side to side, up. It's not just ball jointed up. There's also, well, this whole back piece is moving, so I guess it's giving it more. It's not supposed to move like that, the back piece. Shoulder, so I guess we're gonna have to get this out of the way a bit to get a little more with the shoulder. So they did think about that. Think about it. Think about it. You got the 360. It feels like there's a little more moving. Oh, yeah. You got a reverse butterfly, which probably part of the transformation, maybe? A reverse butterfly, but not an actual butterfly. Nope. Yep. Oh, whoa. That gets you the butterfly, too. So he's a sword wielder, so he could, if we get this off of here. Yeah. You can wield that sword. So you have to pull the reverse butterfly joint out to give you a full... I haven't seen that in a figure before. So that's another first. A strafing first right there. And then, yeah, that's interesting. Okay, so bicep swivel like usual, double jointed on the elbow, and his hand has two articulated joints at each finger, all independent, and independent thumb with only the one ball joint there. Okay, waist swivel, and he's got a slight ab crunch to him. Sort of feels like you're using the hips. He's got some Elvis moves, but it gives you an ab crunch. It's built into the hips. So that's a thing. Here we go. Ratchet it out to there. Move his butt flap, which his butt flap looks almost like a front flap. It gets in the way of itself. Is it a drop down? It has a drop down to the front, but not a drop down to the back. Anyway, it's not really a big deal to me on that. Thigh swivel, double jointed knee, but to engage the front one, you gotta hold on to it a bit. Now you can probably see all that shininess. And the lower we go, we gotta lower it down here. So then we can re-engage. Let's see if we can move this a bit to get more range. It's going to get in the way of itself, but double jointed. Everything you need. And it's pretty tight, pretty firm. And then we get down to the feet, which I am a little, I don't want to say off-put by the feet, but they really do just hide behind all of this, what's going on. I'm not a fan of that, but it's what they did. So if there was a way to bring the feet forward a little more, I would like that. Anyway, the feet do move like a moving toe. And you got side to side and front, back, side to side and all of that. But the feet are relatively hidden. I've never liked that in a figure. I mean, I know we see that with some other characters, but anyway, it gets the job done. For comparison, we are going to start with comparing him to the G1. And, you know, you've got to know where you've come from and where we're going. And he just used to be an arm. All he ever was, and all he ever wanted to be, was an arm. And I will say this, I've never deliberately had him in his robot mode, the vintage one. And I have two Computrons I've built over the years, which is the only reason that I popped him off But this is my spare Computron, and as you can see, just the new Masterpiece arm is bigger than the entire combiner. Just saying. Now I do want to show this next 2X Transbots for two reasons. Number one, you can see he's taller than the combiners from their Devastator or their Defensor. But also aesthetically. If you look at aesthetically, these are much cleaner, look just like they walked off the cartoon. This is very stylized. Depends on your take and what you want out of a combiner. This is where some people might stop and go, wait, I'll wait for the FansToys because the FansToys is going to give us more of this X-Transbots look that's going on here. And other people are going to say that, like, I'm okay for this one combiner because in my head and in my mind, it's fine. Then we have the bot mode being a little taller than Prime. I think a lot of people are going to have a problem with that. Some people are going to have a problem with that. I don't really, but then it starts to make me wonder, you know, how's the main character going to end up? How big is he going to be? Because usually when there's 5, the main one's a little taller than the rest of them. They're not all exactly the same size. Will be interesting to see how that shakes out, but I'm okay with it. I think it looks good. All right, now for the transformation. We are going to rotate his arm to the side, bring his hand out. This piece is going to rotate around, kind of goes up and collapses right there. Then we're going to undo these tabs, right like that. And we're going to bring these, they only rotate really one way. Yeah, like that. And then we're going to slide this whole section here down, and it's going to tab in. This actually has to come down a little further so that these can come down and tab in to here in the front and in the back. So we're going to tab that in to the back too. And then we are going to pull this out. And so this is going to start making the, more or less we're making the ship. This is the sort of the cockpit area. This is going to come down here, tab in, and then we are, look at the butterflies having fun. We are going to unconnect, disconnect this. It's probably going a little off camera, so bring it down. How far back can we get that head there? Now we're going to bring this up and over, up in atoms, and then this is coming up here, and it's going to tab in. There's tabs and slots, and that's in nice and tight right there. So far, that's where we're at. But then we got to get into these legs, so we got to change the camera. All right, so we're gonna unlock this right here, and then we are going to pull this up, and as you can see, it's got a different tab right there. Then we need to pull the wing out and then disconnect. No disconnect. This needs to disconnect right there. And then what we are going to do is rotate. Let me get that up a little higher there. So we're going to rotate all this around, but I think it'll be easier to go ahead and close this section here. And so there are slots and tabs right here. And then this comes up and it tabs in to there. And I might be messing with this slot and tab for a bit. And then this will rotate around, and when it rotates around, it moves back. And then at the same time, you're going to rotate this foot backwards, and you're going to move it up. So then we need to get this whole segment here. Oh, got to rotate the wing. And then we're going to move this segment the hand's going to go into here. This part of the wing's going to go into here. And then we start tabbing it all in. Just like that. There we go. And then come back around to here. This is going to go over and tab in to here. And then we have this. So there's tab here, just that one, and it's going to sort of slide into this position. There it goes. That tab worked. There's the landing skid. Then we're going to slide this piece forward to give it a kind of a thruster. To reveal the thrusters. And then I got to go back around and tab all this in. So this up here, this tabbing in stuff came undone while I was working on the other one. So we got to kind of like re-tab all that back in. And then I got to do the other side, and I will do the other side off camera because for time. All right, so here he is in his alt mode. I will say one funny odd thing is that when I did the other side, this just slipped out automatically on its own. But you do have to extend the wings and then re-tab it in, which is nice, and then fold these up. And then I think there's another one to fold down on the bottom. So that's some more good stuff for this. And then, of course, just adjust things. But pretty good looking, very stylized space mode. But we are going to do a comparison. We are going to do a comparison. So don't worry about that. Comparisons are always happening around here. But yeah, I think I did a good job on this mode. I don't know. Does this cockpit open to reveal just nothing really? But it's very busy. Yeah, it's definitely very busy. That's what I can say about this mode. If you know what I'm saying. Now the landing gear, I didn't show that, but this landing gear tucks up front, and then it just folds down. So skid, it's more of skids, and they're not really that solid. Like you got to get them just right and set it down. But it works. I mean, it works, gets the job done. But would you really want wheels? Nah, I don't need wheels. I'm good. I'm good with this. Now we can armor this dude up with some stuff, depending on how you want to do it. But most people probably want to do the whole put this on there. And I'm curious though. Now that I'm thinking about it, you can put it on either way, right? It goes both ways, so you can have it like that or like this. Actually, I think that's better than this. So let's put this to that, and now we have it like this. Yeah. It's going to be better for the comparison too. And then if you want to, with the wings, you have, is it the wings? Where do you have the holes? You got to have holes for you to put your swords. I know there's at least one right here for a sword. That would work if you want to. Oh yeah, okay. Then you could just put the other sword in the sword. And then that's still, you won't be able to use the skids if you do two swords, but I think you can still use the skids with one sword. Now let's see if that works. Yeah, it works. Alright, so here he is next to the G1. I don't see very many people comparing it to G1, but if you really think about it, like this matches the toy pretty well with just a little bit of kind of update. Look at this. So it's got like these two little notches sticking out of it. It's got two little notches sticking out of it. It's got some stylization with some wing fins out here. But it's a cream color instead of white. I like the white better than the cream, believe it or not. I'm glad they didn't go with the cream color. And then you've got the wings. It's a different take. It's a different stylized take on the G1. But it works, right? And I don't know. What else can I compare it to that would actually work? Everybody knows a Masterpiece Prime when they see a Masterpiece. Oh, man. Gotta go back. How big is he? Does he make Optimus Prime look small? Well, that's his job. We did in bot mode. So I don't know. It's kind of works. Kind of fits. We have one more weapon alternate configuration. Oh, and that's to move these to the sideways. And then we could put these on these small tabs. And do that on both sides. See if I can get that faster this way. And then we have an alternate weapon configuration, which does look pretty good too. Options are good with this figure. All right, now for combine mode. I'm gonna try to get this combine mode done as quick as possible. You can use these to get that out of there. We want to pop this disconnect. Yes, disconnect, not a no disconnect. To get a better angle on that, so you're gonna get your finger under here and lift it up to get that out of the way. And then we do want to move all this up, and we're gonna undo this here, this tab here, which is going to let us start moving this. And as you move this, you'll be able to pull the arms out of the slots. As we can move this, the arms come out. And then back here, we need this disconnected. It's a pretty tight connection, which it's got to be, but we need this disconnected. Now we need to start sliding this up. So you see how that slid up nice to reveal the hinge, the connector tab hinge, which is nice and tight as it needs to be, but we need to bring that all the way around to the back. And then we need to reconstruct all of this and make it strong. So we need these tabs. So this is going to come down. This is going to tab into here. This tabs into the sides. If I don't let it get in the way of itself, maybe we should tab the sides in first. Oh, it went. This one still needs to go. There it goes. That went. And so with all of that, we are going to get this stuff reconfigured. We have to reconfigure the arms, which not a whole lot of fun, but it is what it is. So untab what we've already tabbed. It's like we're undoing and putting it back the way it was, sort of, but not really. I will give it to him. This stuff does tab in really well. Come on. You can do it. There it goes. This will come back up and tab into here. And then this is going to come. I'm going to pull this out and flip it around. It's going to come down to here. And then this is going to flip around, and this is supposed to come down further. There we go. There we go. And then we are going to put this up to here, and we can put all this stuff back the way whence it was, from whence it was. And then we do the same thing on the other side there. Sort of like that, and then we come down here, and so we do need to kind of move these legs up. This up to here, and that's going to go into there. This needs to rotate up to here, and that tabs into there. And I knocked something off. Oh, just tabs right back in. Very simple. But we got one last thing really to do. Where is the... Yeah, there it is. One thing to do, and it is to install the fist. So here's the fist, and this will actually make it even more stable right here at this point, because you're going to have tabs tabbed into it, and the feet are going to be tabbed into it. And then we have an arm. And yeah, let's... I'm gonna look it over, see if I've got everything just right, and then we'll do some comparisons and see what this arm can do. All right, two things real quick before we get into looking at the arm. We gotta make these smaller. I was like, I knew there was something off. I was like, I forgot to do that. And then we do have to put these on here. So put them on like this. That seems about right to me. And we got the arm done. And it looks good. It's a nice looking arm. And really does articulate the fingers very well. The hand. Let's adjust this. Get this in there a little better. Yeah. A lot of articulation to this. You can do a lot with it. It does feel a lot like a Superion. And that's another reason I kind of like this set. I like this Computron, because it does give me a lot of those feels. A lot of those good Superion feels. Because I like Superion a lot. So Computron's like, yeah, it's not my second favorite. I actually think my second favorite is Devastator. It's Superion, then Devastator, and then this guy probably. And then yeah, like Minotaur ranks pretty low for me. I don't know. That's kind of how my rankings have been with these. But yeah, I think it looks good. I mean, the paint all shines through. It looks like he's got some like mechanical stuff going on in there. So it really works. And this is die cast. So, I mean, some good die cast hardware. Yeah, they've done a pretty good job on this guy. Let's compare it to something else. Here it is compared to a Fans Toys arm, an X-Transbot's arm, and another X-Transbot's arm. It's got body parts just laying around this place, you know what I mean? But it fits in scale-wise. I think it's gonna work. This is a contender. This is why Fans Toys got nervous and started putting their pre-orders up. Here he is next to the G1 in arm mode. I mean, the G1 can do a lot of different things. I just leave it out like that. I think it's the easiest way to do it, but you can kind of give it something like that if you want to. But the G1, I mean, is it faithful to the G1? Sorta, yeah. You can see, and I didn't risk life and limb and snapping his head off to pull it off the combiner for nothing. This is my look at the BingoToys Hertz. What do I think about this guy? I do think he looks pretty good overall, actually. He's a pretty nice figure, a little stylized, but depends on your tastes and your preferences. They came out of the gate pretty strong with this one, and I'm a little surprised about the high quality paint and my own inability to pose, but anyhow, I think he does look really good. I think they've done a great job with him. He looks good in all modes. So with that, I did get him a Shozi store. I'll have a link down below where you could get yours too. If you like this one, you'll be in on the whole set. Or maybe you wait for the Fans Toys. Either way, it's all up to you. Maybe this is combined mode, Fans Toys is bot mode, or vice versa, and all that kind of stuff. But let me know what you think in the comments below. Like and subscribe, and Titanium Hanger out.